Is it journal time again? It's journal time again. It's journal time with RevFox. Yeah, I could use some work. A brief explanation. Let me start off by acknowledging the absurdity present in doing this meta entry. It's quite literally a blog post created for the sole purpose of being read aloud in a video format. With that said, the topic of this entry is simple. A few people messaged me with concerns regarding the Journal Time with RevFox series and format. I will address some of these concerns and reveal the overarching purpose of Journal Time in this entry. It's also not lost on me that I may have stretched the truth a little bit when I titled this entry with the qualifier of brief. First off, though, the concerns. This series is solely meant for response videos and trolling. No. Just because 100% at the time of writing this of this series' content consists of responses, that still only equates to an insignificant sample size. Overall, my planned breakdown of content is as follows: 30% response content, 50% original content not derived from responses, and 20% fun content, such as surveys, Q&As, etc. This is not taking into consideration the fact that I am somewhat impulsive and may give in to my impulse for being reactive. In such a case, I may take about 5 minutes, jot something down, and upload my first take. Also, as I said previously, response content will not be the primary focus of this series. While some of my statements in those response videos may come off as troll-ish, that is not the purpose whatsoever. This aspect of journal time is to deliver honest critiques to whoever I want to critique. How those critiques are interpreted is no business of mine. This is just an excuse to be overly offensive. No. Being offensive is a small part of what makes up the whole of my personality. Usually the point where I become offensive is when I'm rambling and stumbling over words and thoughts and need a bit of filler. Or it just comes out in place of clever parlance that I initially wanted to say. About the only time here that I would become offensive is to make a point that would be elevated by it. I will, however, make an honest effort to curb the unnecessary offensive language and only use it where necessary. Outside of that, if you become offended by my content, as with my critiques, it's no business of mine. This is just an attempt to get attention by using a trite gimmick. No. I'm able to speak much more clearly when I'm scripted, but I don't have the time to do multiple takes and film multiple clips to edit together. Nor do I have the inclination, honestly. As someone put it, your words cut deeper when they're not surrounded by waffles. For those of you who aren't savvy with actors' jargon, waffling is to hesitate with words or sounds, such as and like you know, I Now the purpose. Above all my various hobbies, projects, and skills, I am a writer first. I started journaling at 6 years old, wrote my first published essay when I was 12, and became a semi-successful writer for various websites by age 16. My most ambitious project currently is blowing the digital dust off my blog, and that's where journal time comes in. It gives me a chance to write consistently in my blog through these mini essays, rants, rambles, responses, and, well, critiques and scripts. It also gives me a chance to read back through some of my old content and share it with you all in a medium that may suit it better than merely being words on a screen. In a blog. On one of 6 blog sites that I was a member of. Or on my current blog site, which is a thing I built from the ground up using Wikidot. As mentioned above, being scripted helps me speak more clearly and concisely. When I'm stumbling over words, I get frustrated and lose track of the point. Being scripted, however, gives me the freedom to coherently present my points without having to wade through a pool of jumbled thoughts, all the while trying to keep my mouth moving so there's not seconds to minutes of dead air. The reason I stumble over my words when I'm not scripted is threefold. 1. I have a minor stutter combined with dyslexia. 2. My mind is so noisy that I have to slow down my speech as to not blurt out utter nonsense. 3. I'm highly self-conscious of my waffles and other nervous tics. There is a rather interesting facet of blogging, too, that I lost track of until I wrote the ALR entry, catharsis. In my daily life, I am constantly frustrated by the fact that I often can't verbalize precisely what I'm thinking, and so it either builds or comes out as an overstated mess. Sure, I can turn the camera on and vent my frustrations in a fashion that you're familiar with on my channel. But all that does is recycle the frustration into a video that may or may not actually help. In a few cases, I've been successful in venting while getting to the point, but most of the time, I circle the topic so much that getting to the point becomes a fatally entropic behavior. This format will help to release that entropy. One moment. I know I can edit all this out. And that's not a statement to anyone in particular. That's a statement to the algorithm. And my retention numbers. Anyway. Another aspect of journal time is honesty and authenticity. My writing is about the clearest path to my authentic views and opinions. When I'm rambling and unscripted, I tend towards a mode where I build the rage, play the character more fully. While this is fine in some situations, sometimes I don't want to play the character. Sometimes I want you all to see the authenticity behind what I'm putting out there. The final intended purpose of this series is to mutually entertain you all, my readers, listeners, viewers, friends, and family, as well as myself. But without you guys and gals, I'd still be a 3-sub channel with huge aspirations and no outlet. It's like having a PS5. Sure, it's interesting to look at, but without power, all you have is a lump of fucking plastic. So thank you guys, seriously. And hey, if you ever want to respond to me in a video, post a link to the comment section of the video you're responding to. I'm willing to do the old school YouTube concept of actually communicating through this platform. With that said, I'm Reverend Fox. Thank you for reading and or watching. Full text of this entry will be posted to my blog, link in the crotch bar below. Thank you again. Have a good day.